I'll be flossing.
Oh my god.
I hate that kid.
Backpack kid. I can't do it. I can't floss.
I can't either.
I'm
I
very
can't
bad.
floss either.
Very bad at dancing. Very bad at
I'm pretty
rhythm.
bad at dancing, to be honest.
Very bad rhythm.
Yeah.
I can dance.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. All right, bro.
Fair enough. Hey, if he says he can, he can.
All right, we'll believe it one day.
Maybe. I don't know.
We'll go to an event.
Yeah.
What?
A
dance
dance
battle?
battle.
When we all turn 21, let's all go to
Charity-
Telus.
No,
charity
is
dance
that what
battle.
happens at Telus? I don't go to Telus like that.
Dance battles.
Like
That's-
while everyone's drunk at Telus, everyone's on the roof having dance battles with
Nah.
boom boxes. Is that what's happening?
That's what's gonna happen. That's gonna happen when we turn 21.
I
Well, you're
guess.
21 now.
Yeah.
Dance
all
off.
summer.
Dance off. That's it.
Dance off at Telus.
Yeah, 'cause I don't know if it'll be a. I don't know if I'll show.
We're gonna have a crazy
I'll
summer
plan
all
it, but
being
I won't.
21. at
Yeah?
Telus.
I don't
You
know.
turn 21 this summer?
I don't know how
When do you turn
excited.
21?
March.
Oh,
26th.
dude, you guys are gonna all beat me.
Yeah. So like I don't know how I feel about Telus. Like I went to Telus. I feel like I've already got the Telus experience from like being in there with like rappers. I think that's pretty much all I need to know. Like I feel like it's always just like
Yeah.
the ratchet
It's a
bullshit.
bar.
It is. It's
Yeah.
a bunch of drunk white people.
It's a
Yeah,
bar.
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
It's a
So,
bar.
Well, what up, everybody? This is the Our Place podcast,
nice.
talking about some exciting stuff.
Definitely.
I got two of the coolest people I know here. We got James Duncan back for the second time.
Double appearance.
Double
One season.
appearance. This is
I'm
a
dropping
Our
my
Place
face
exclusive.
Yeah.
I said to myself, 2019, I'm gonna put myself pretty much anywhere I can in front of a camera, and here we are.
Yeah.
So,
I'm trying to have him come back for a third time too, so let's hope we get lucky.
uh,
And we also got Nick.
What's going
Nick
on, guys?
Levin.
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 Yeah, a lot of people missay it.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
bad, dude. I
okay,
should've
no,
asked
that's
you.
funny story about that. So, first time I met Nick, I put his name in my phone. I spelled his last name completely wrong.
Everyone does.
Completely wrong.
Everyone does.
And I refuse to change it now because like that's just kind of how it is.
you're not the only person like
Well, because
that.
when you tell Siri to call it, it does it that way.
Yeah, I know.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Call Nick Levin.
Yeah.
It's
Levin.
Levin. It's like Levin. It's like
Yeah, it does not smell like Levin.
No, it's odd, but yeah.
Yeah.
Some people put E at the end. Levine.
Yeah, that's where mine is. That's what mine is. It's like Levine,
Yeah.
because like Adam Levine.
Nick Levine.
Fair
Like,
enough.
You just accent the letters
Yeah.
differently, so I think that's what people might think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Fair
Or
enough.
something.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, but I've gotten it my whole life. I don't think I've ever met. I've met seldomly met people who can say my name correctly the first time I meet them.
Wow. Got
So,
a unique name.
I don't take it personally at this point.
Cool. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
These two guys are crazy. Let me just say that to start off with. They run a bunch of hustles. They're
Not
doing the
only
damn
just hustles.
thing.
We're out here in the community.
Yeah, they're out here,
Yeah.
and like I'm gonna let them talk a little bit about that. I mean, we know kind of a little bit about James, so like I'm gonna let Nick kind of start it off. But Nick, come on, tell us what's happening, man.
Okay. Let me start off by asking James a question. Was the commercial that you and I were a part of, was that the creative spark?
For
us.
for us,
Yeah.
for us as a unit,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So let's start there. What was it, like 2 years ago, a year ago?
2 years ago at this
Two
point.
two
Yeah,
years ago?
we've gone
I
through
had already at this point been operating like a secondary resale business in sneakers and clothing and stuff like that. And throughout high school, I was just doing really well. You know, just entrepreneurial spirit, just literally selling sneakers out of my car is the best way to say it.
Nice.
And once I got to college, I realized what scaling a business meant, but I didn't know how. So I was like, okay, there's a few avenues I can go. I can make a commercial. I can put money into the website, which was already doing very well. So I was like, commercial. So I used the resources around me at college. And for those of you who don't know it, the business name is Nick's Kicks. Sticker right here. I don't know if it's in frame or not. It's not, but that's fine. It's
So-
okay.
It's just
You don't got the poster, you don't get both.
I know. So we met. I actually met a very good friend of mine. His name's Scott, and me and Scott were friends for a very long time, probably a year before this. And he would tell me about how I inspired him, and to the point where he opened his own business. So he opened up something called Visionist Media, and I said, you know what? I want to be your first client because I trust you, Scott, and I think you will put together a great project.
Yeah.
So what Scott did something really, really magical, and I didn't think of it at the time. He put me in contact with James.
Yeah.
And through that...
Wait. Hold on.
Is
So,
that how it went?
well, you have to take into account that, like, I was going to potentially, like, work for Visionist.
Right, okay.
Like, that was where this started. So, when...
He was contracted by Scott
Exactly.
for more work in the future. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out the way he wanted, but that's all right. So he commissioned James to hire the models. James brought the expertise of his brother in, which is shouts to James shouts to Sam rather.
Dunk made it, right?
Yeah, Dunk made it.
Yeah, I gotta have them out here. That'd be a good. That would be a good person to have.
Yeah,
out
he's killing it. He's doing so well to the point
Nah.
where he's contemplating just dropping everything and just doing it.
here. Yeah, I see his stuff all the time.
We're trying to keep him straight, but
stay in school,
stay in
kids.
school,
That's all I
kid.
gotta say.
That's it.
And
If you're hearing that from us, if you're hearing that from
and if
us,
Sam, stay in school, kid.
so yeah. Anyway, but back to what I was saying about Scott. I wanted to be his first client, all that, and he put James in a point where he was to hire the models, and the shoot went great. We had so much fun.
We really
It
did.
was so much
Yeah.
fun, and I don't think it was going to be.
I actually might have some B-roll footage that you can maybe even roll in this because we
Definitely.
really did have like a good time for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, the behind the scenes.
Should we tell them about the when we got to Tornado Alley? Just that whole entire. I think when we got to Tornado Alley is when it.
We'll
really
finish
got
the
fun
story.
for us.
We'll
Yeah,
finish
go
the
for it.
That's
story.
actually where I first heard about Knicks for Kids was that commercial
Mhm.
because some girl that followed me on Instagram, like named Sophie or something.
Mm-hmm.
She
She
Yo,
was
shout
in-
out Sophie Frisbee.
She was in.
I'm not
the
going to say that
commercial.
because my girlfriend's in the room. But, so
Yeah,
I
she
wouldn't
was
say
in the
regardless.
commercial, and I
But-
think
sorry.
I might have followed Nick's Kicks that day.
Yeah.
To be honest, I might have been
Yeah,
following
I
you guys
jumped-
for a while.
I jumped a decent amount. Before all this, I've been doing it for a pretty long time, like maybe 3 years. And once it was like the 4th year, I was like, let's do something to strengthen this. Let's do that commercial.
yeah.
And we finished the commercial, and I was pretty happy with it. But when we got to Tornado Alley, and this was the most important part, we got to Tornado Alley,
Yeah.
and who did we meet?
Dave Porter. We met Dave Porter. I don't
Yeah.
know if you know who Dave Porter
Nah, I
is,
don't know
but
Dave
Dave shot a lot of the sports photos for J.P. McCaskey,
Yeah.
along with having what used to be formerly known as Tornado Alley.
Unfortunately, it dissolved because he lost, the house was forfeited,
Gosh.
and the community space was. I don't know if it's still there. I imagine.
I'm not
I
exactly.
imagine the court's.
Listen,
probably still
I don't
there.
really know what's going on
And
with
if
it.
they take it
yeah.
off, then that's messing with the city pretty much because
Yeah.
that's not the greatest area. I don't know if you've ever been down there. It's like
I've
it's,
been near
it's,
McCaskey, but
It's a
yeah.
highlight. It's a highlight of that area. It's,
Gotcha.
It's where
Yeah.
where you grow up.
I think it was a really smart thing for Dave to do. I mean,
Oh, it
for
was
sure.
awesome. It was.
he even during that tour, I don't know if you got a tour, but like I was hanging out with Dave and he like showed me like inside, like behind the fences and everything, and like he would monitor, just because it's his property, which is
Yeah.
understandable, but like he seemed to really give care a lot about the kids and like have a place
really
for them
did.
to. And there's pictures if you go back to like. Just even
the
like the
70s,
yeah,
man,
like
of
it's
him-
crazy
of
of
him.
him just chilling there with
He's-
like people balling, like
Wow.
like
He's-
dads whose kids in the area have played ball. Like everybody
He's a good
knows about
community
Tornado
figure.
Alley. Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's definitely entrenched in the community. So we met him, as well as when we showed up, there were a few kids,
Cool.
and that's when it clicked for me.
Mm.
I was looking around, I was like, these guys don't have the craziest shoes on, but you know what? I think I could change that, and I think I could do it, and just give it to them, because I know they can't afford the shoes that I'm selling. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
selling $900 sneakers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to just give them away is powerful.
Yeah.
So I was really thinking after that. I was like, because I've had the idea for the charity for roughly 3 years.
Yeah.
It's been nascent in my head for that long.
Yeah.
Like it's a plan up here, but I don't
Yeah.
know how to formulate it. So I met him, and the initial plan was very strange in the way that he wasn't my first choice, but I'm glad it was him because what I initially had planned, I had planned for Scott, the person who shot the commercial, to become where he was. I now know that probably would not have worked because he just is not the kind of personality. I love Scott, but he's just not the kind of personality that I think would fit in that.
Yeah.
On top of that, James already had his foot in the door of a lot of nonprofits, being that his mom, shouts to his mom, who actually helped us get on TV through Milagro House. And his dad is someone who is a grant writer for charter schools in Delaware, right?
No, he. Oh man, what is oh god, he's gonna kill me when he sees this. I don't
No,
remember
he gave me a pamphlet.
There's been a lot of things.
He's done a lot.
So my parents have both been in fundraising for years.
Right.
So now it's kind of come to, my mom is now the executive director at Milagro House, as well as my dad, who fundraises for CEB, which is a charter school in Delaware. Along with that, he freelances himself for fundraising and other things like that. So
so it was a natural choice for me.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
I didn't wanna go outside of someone that I didn't know for this. It was a very personal project for me, Kicks for Kids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you read the Lancaster Online article, but
The one that's right here?
Yeah, actually,
yeah,
the one that's right there.
Yeah.
We talked about mitigating the risks of mitigating poverty, especially in this area. We met, I look back at before we even started this, before it was completely concrete, we went around meeting with nonprofits in the area, just trying to get advice.
Yeah.
And the advice that we got was leaps and bounds better than anything that we've, would you say that was a good
I think it
start for us?
really helped us kind of just start to layer the beginnings of a foundation for us.
Yeah.
Because even though we both, I think Nick and I put ourselves in situations that we know we're going to excel in for a reason. But sometimes when you're in those situations, you got to go and you got to seek the help.
Yeah.
And for us, I think just taking that small step to go and talk to people and get the advice, it helped us, helped us with our goal setting, and it really helped us kind of also really just know the do's and don'ts of what to do in this situation, who to contact, what's too far, what's not too far, proper etiquette when fundraising and raising money and things like that. And
because this is a completely new thing I'm stepping into. I
Yeah.
went from a
Right.
transactional,
it's not
some
running a
transactional
business.
businesses to
Yeah.
asking people for funds to help their communities.
Yeah.
It's a very, very difficult thing. And, we haven't really found difficulty raising money. We've found difficulty finding people who need the items mostly.
Okay.
And that's pretty difficult.
There's only you can only get so far up the ladder in certain situations without revealing certain people's identities.
Yeah.
So when we go into schools and when we go and we want to interact with those families, we can't, because there's specific rules and laws that come with certain organizations where it's confidentiality reasons you can't.
So, for instance, we give sneakers to Hershey Penn Medical Center in Hershey.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe we could get some pictures of the kids, and there was confidentiality agreements that would need to be signed. So it was this whole thing. I was like, nah, don't even worry about it. Just give them to them. It's it's whatever. We give.
Yeah,
we
because
give
then it
sneakers all
becomes a
the
big
time.
deal, because then it's not. Then you look at it and you're just like, oh,
But
is this really about
the way that
shoes?
we mitigate that is we actually have partnerships with other charities. So
Yeah.
as we specified before, Milagro House,
Mm.
which has been awesome. We've given, I don't know, maybe 20 pairs, 15 pairs, something like that.
So far,
Something like that.
And we're gonna give
And
another
more to
shipment
go.
soon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Lincoln Middle School is
Lincoln
another
Middle
one that we work
School,
with.
United
Gotcha.
Way,
Yep.
Echo. Shouts to Echoes.
Yeah.
In Elizabethtown, they live. Their building is right next to me, so they're like,
Yeah.
hey, can we get some sneakers? Absolutely. And it's like it's
Yeah.
for homeless people in the area. So
Cool.
what other ones have we done, partnership wise?
I don't think we've really endeavored into anything other than that
Yeah.
as of right now.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like a great start, to be honest. It sounds like you're doing.
Yeah, for our first year.
Yeah,
First year, I
you're
think
doing
we're
really
excelling.
well for a first year,
Yeah.
especially. And like, there's kind of like, especially if fundraising is doing well right now, like there's gonna be like a multitude of opportunities for you to do that with. I mean, even places like Water Street, who would possibly get like a large shipment from you.
Yeah.
In places like that. So, what are some run-ins? Like, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, but like, you guys are probably the youngest people in the area
True.
who own a nonprofit, and you have the official 501c3 now, which is a huge deal.
You want to know something? We never let our ages get in the way
Yeah.
of that.
No, and I'd also
Exactly.
tweak that statement. I think Nick and I are also some of the youngest people in this area to do what we do across the board.
Yeah,
and I want to
definitely.
make. I think I want to make that as just as clear as possible
That's fair.
because we work our asses off behind the scenes with
Yeah.
everything, and I think that shows as well.
Oh, it
But-
definitely
but
does.
It, like you were just about to say, like
Yeah.
age doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, no, of
you
course
know,
not.
I've been in dinners with 60-year-old men who have the same respect for me as I do.
Exactly.
It's just it's the way you portray yourself.
yeah.
And I come off humble, yet I talk my shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I
and I
yeah.
think and I think that's something that like other young people don't know how to do.
right because
Like,
they haven't had the experience yet.
yeah.
I can't fault them for that.
You can't fault them for it, and I think that there's also like this like I don't know that I can get away with it. I don't
Yeah.
know that I can do it.
Yeah.
And like
The fear.
there's
Yeah.
fear, and I think there has to be like you said, you go in there, you're respected because you talk your shit, and you
Mhm.
know you know
Exactly.
what you're worth, and you know it, and like I was the same way. Like when I started going into those rooms, I realized that I had to be humble,
Yeah.
but I had to make sure that I didn't come across like a baby.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so, I mean, I respect that hustle because like it's true that that's a mental hump that people have to get over. Being 19, 18, 20, 21 in this game when they don't see a lot of other people their age doing it.
I look at it a lot like public speaking.
Yeah.
You can like
Yeah.
it
Yep.
or you can hate it,
Mm.
and it just turns out that I like it. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
And sometimes
And
it's one
excel
of
in
those
it.
things that it's either learn or you kind of have it. And when you
Mm.
have it, you put it to the test.
Yeah.
And so then
for
when you
sure.
put it to the test, you see what you can do with it.
Exactly.
You find that there's a lot of things that you can get done
Perfect
just by using the
example.
power of your voice,
We went to one event this year. Who did we meet?
We went to one event this year. We met the mayor, which was really cool.
The
And
mayor.
Out of that,
In addition to how many other people that we
And which event was this?
this was Evening of Miracles from Milagro House. This
Mhm.
evening.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So,
awesome night.
great night.
Awesome night. My
um,
favorite event that I've been to in the area so far.
Yeah. I think walking away from that night was very interesting. We developed a really good relationship with the mayor, I think.
Yeah.
We
Really down to earth lady too.
yeah.
Personable.
Yeah,
Mm.
it really does. Like, and you learn in this kind of, I don't know if it's an industry. I don't know.
It's kind of like an
sort
industry,
of, yeah.
yeah.
You kind of learn in this game where it's like, when you're our age and you do what we do, and like, I mean, we're teenagers just like everybody else when it comes down to it. Young adults who
I'm not even 21.
exactly, and we just
Yeah,
we
exactly.
do our own
Yeah.
thing outside of what we do. So when we turn that switch on, it's very interesting to see what we can walk away with, and
And the
we ended up
reactions,
getting a
yeah.
donation from them, from their office and things like that, which was
Mhm.
really nice. So
Mm.
having them, endorse us is pretty big. for
Yeah,
sure.
that's huge.
Yeah, it
So-
was really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay. You guys, we touched on this earlier, but you said you do a lot of things. So
Yeah.
I mean, we all,
Okay, let's break. Let's
Yeah,
break it
we
down.
know- we
Yeah,
know
let's
about the
break it
road
down one by
review.
one.
Yeah. So I think it's really interesting to watch how this trail goes because
yeah,
it seems like every step we take it's together, but it's kind of a part of what we've kind of just built so
Yeah.
far. So
you guys are gonna own a large corporation or something one day
Something.
together because you guys do a lot of
something.
things.
See, the original idea was the.
yeah.
All right, let's break it from square one. Let's start with
Wait, should we tell them?
sneakers. Let's start with videos of sneakers.
Yeah, we need to
Let's-
start with the video thing. All right, so the whole reason why I originally joined Visionist Media was because I wanted to start getting into certain situations where I could be creative, and I wanted to learn how to be a creator. And our friend Scott had essentially kind of built this.
And I was
kind of
willing to pay.
dreamland.
I was willing to pay
Right.
them
Yeah, yeah,
to do work
Right.
for it.
Yeah.
So
So that whole thing kind of went to where it went, and we don't need to get into any more detail
just
than
went
that.
left.
Yeah, because I've never
Um,
seen this commercial.
What?
Is there a finished product?
Yo,
Yeah.
it's done.
Yeah, it's done.
It's done.
It's done.
I don't know that I've ever seen the full thing. Is it
yeah,
on the website?
it's done. It's
on my website.
if you watch
Okay,
also some
yeah.
of the roast review episodes, like it's in the middle of those. But
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I've seen
reasons
clips
that
of
we
it.
are handling right now due to copyright,
Yeah, I'm not
we have
sure.
been
I'm-
very distant with using that commercial. Anyway,
Definitely.
Gotcha.
so moving forward, so Nick and I remained friends after the commercial, and the nonprofit sort of started, and then after that we were like, well, we had the pocket of where we were in the nonprofit, but there was only so much when you can do. Like that's the other thing.
It's
Like
so
I want to touch
seasonal,
on this too. Like
Yeah.
we're a 501c3 accredited charity, so like that is a long waiting period. That's
It
like
was
8
10
it was like
months.
8 to 10 months, and we were just like there was so much that we could do and X amount of donations that we could take in, and so much like we didn't really have anything to. We were just kind of sitting around.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, so I want to.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so I was like, listen, I want to take what we have here and like. I just got a camera. Like, what do we do? Because I was gonna use it for photos. That's essentially what it was. Yeah. So then we started making these videos. I was like, Nick, dude, you have all these shoes, and he was looking for ways to like just like the commercial to like help like grow his business. I was like, bro, like we should get you like a YouTube channel started. So we started a YouTube channel. We were gonna throw it up on Nick's Kicks, but then we were just like, screw it, let's just make a YouTube channel ourselves.
Yeah.
And we named it Universal Media.
Okay, so the name Universal.
That's terrible.
Let me run. Now hold on. If you saw it,
no.
if you saw it,
No,
you'd be
you gotta
like, "That's
understand
fire."
because no, really, this is cool because this ties into
When
like everything.
I had this
Yeah.
class project, and it was to make a mock business for my entrepreneurship class.
Yeah.
And so I named the business Universal. The concept of the business was to create interchangeable soles of sneakers to help curb social change. So like to create a longer lasting, better for the environment product by just replacing the bottom of the soles instead of throwing out your shoes. And it came in this it was very ergonomic. It was wild. Up here, I don't
You're
know
a
what I was.
very big
I don't know what I was.
entrepreneur.
Easily,
Yeah.
easily, definitely. But so and then I took that logo that I made for the mock project, and like I personally liked it. I thought it was good, and we ran with that for our YouTube channel.
Right.
So yeah,
So then we made these videos and okay, like we did sneaker reviews and like, dude, I look back on it, even though this was only like a year and like
We
a couple months
laugh.
ago, we laugh.
We laugh
because
so hard.
we sit now and we look at the amount of how this trail has just continued because it keeps going from here. So I didn't. It seemed as though Nick really wasn't feeling the creative situation. And I was like, you know what?
it wasn't the right creative.
Whatever, fine. So I was always into music, and I have a lot of things to say. If you know me, I have a lot of things to say.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? How do I say a lot of things and do what I love at the same time? So I started the podcast, which was the Rose Review, and I originally did that with no
Gave
video.
me a call the same day. I was
Yeah,
like,
I know.
you hit it out of the park. I told him. I was
yeah,
like,
so
you
we
hit it out of
finished
the park.
we finished recording a video, and like we both like were not feeling it, and I was like, I need to find something else, like go
That's
and
you.
chase his creative nature.
That's you.
And he's got his thing. I gotta find something that I need to build because I was inspired by the things just by being friends for only like a month, like where my head was gonna go. And I said that in the first podcast I was with you, where I
Yeah.
was like, this is like just the relationship that we built as friends has really helped me kind of just channel a lot of things within myself and give me the courage to go and take that step. So I am thinking in the car, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do? And so I call. I literally know that I was like, I'm sitting there and like I'm driving and I'm like, oh my god, this might be cool. So and I also I feel like I ran another idea by you. Oh, I was also at the time working as a social media manager for this app called Music Connect.
Oh my god.
So and
Oh,
Music
I
Connect,
forgot.
Music Connect is an app that was supposed to like
He
combat.
still holds 1% of shares.
No, I don't hold anything. I was essentially supposed to, but I gave them like so Music Connect was supposed to combat Instagram and Facebook, and it was solely supposed to be for musicians. And as a musician, I was like, fuck it.
The idea and
I'm
principle,
there.
it could work.
Yeah, it could work. Whatever. So I get.
If you had a bunch of money.
God, I can't believe we're going down this trail. All right, so I'm gonna keep going because I don't. It's whatever. All right. So Music Connect contacts me. They send me. I actually know the kid. I used to go to middle school. Went to middle school and elementary school with him. He's from the area. He sends me this app. I'm like, bro, I cannot promote this. Like, I don't know. I literally didn't know. I remember showing it to you. I was like, bro, this just looks like a 2003 Reddit feed of just like videos that like you have to activate the play.
Yeah.
So I was like, bro, so I sent him a list, and I still have the screenshots and everything. And so I like stopped talking to them because honestly, I couldn't do what they wanted me to do. But I find out later that I opened this app again, like out of test
see
play.
this
It's my
happening?
seat. All right, so sit up. So go ahead, bring it up. No, it's fine. So pull the thing, and then you just gotta twist yourself a little bit. It's weird. You gotta find like the right niche so it doesn't like.
There we go.
Are you moving?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay,
Keep
perfect.
going. This
All
is
right.
great.
So this thing was a dud. I go back in, still a dud, but I go back into Music Connect. No, pause. Yeah, I go back into
Yeah.
Music Connect, and I'm like, oh my god, they used all my ideas. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. I honestly don't care about this app. This thing really won't really make any buzz. 2 weeks later, I get a call from an LNP reporter who's like, hey, I see that you're active. You are really slipping. All right, try it again.
I look literally like
I
the
know.
more you talk, the
I'm sorry.
slower.
All right, try it again.
Hold on.
Just like try and reset the whole thing. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Boom.
All right,
Solid.
sweet. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, we'll get a new
So
chair
LMP
soon.
hits you.
LMP hits me up. It's Janelle Yanti, and she has been covering like my bands and stuff for years. She calls me. She goes, "Hey, so I saw that you have an account on Music Connect. Are we able to use a screen grab of it for the LMP report?" And I was like, "All right, sure, whatever, fine." And then after that, I've heard nothing about them. Like they like have an Instagram page, and I don't know. It seems like they were supposed to update their featured artists every week, but it's been like the same featured artist, and that was a year ago. And like so, like
We
I don't
call
know.
that
Yeah.
losing track.
So I was involved in all this stupid stuff.
and
going
he
on.
was calling me along the way, and I'm like, you know,
Some
it
ideas
sounds
work,
good,
but like
but
yeah,
in
There's
essence,
a
I don't
lot of
think
ideas
it's gonna
that
work.
yeah.
sound
Didn't
good.
think it was gonna hit or
Yeah.
anything.
You need a lot of money to push social
It
media.
sounds like
that.
musically.
Except they
Except
rebranded
for-
themselves as TikTok,
Yeah.
so now it's
Yeah, and I'm just like sitting there and I'm
Yeah,
just like, okay,
it's
what do I
different.
do? So for a month, I think I was like going at Nick with like ideas of stuff that I wanted to try and figure out what to do. So then the Rose review came to be. I started that, and I already gave a background on that on your old episode. So some back promotion for you there. Go ahead and check that out, so I don't have to give this whole story again. Anyway, but so now I interview rappers, and then we met Tyler, and we started talking at the
Oh,
wall,
yeah.
which is our comedic podcast.
Yeah, so we have a
Um,
comedy friend.
Yes.
and
I've watched
he-
some of his comedy. He's mad funny.
He's funny. He's dark and he's funny.
He's dark and
It's-
funny, yeah.
He's killing it out there. Shouts to you,
Yeah,
Tyler. I hope
shouts
you're having
Ty.
fun in Pittsburgh
That's
right now.
facts. That's facts.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Hope you're
so
doing right.
we meet Ty. We did that. So now we have this like we've got 4 things in play right now. He's got Nick's Kicks. I've got the Rose review, and in turn together we both have Kicks for Kids and Talking at the Wall.
Yeah.
So then I decided to take the Rose review to the next level and start to put it on YouTube. And so we were recording these out of Nick's apartment. So then we moved to a studio, and I started to get more rap, and like this was getting traction. And then, oh wait,
was,
no, I'm forgetting the biggest piece. So we started to videotape these, and then I asked Nick if he would be my counterpart for the show because I was getting
And
really
obviously-
tired.
Obviously, I was like, absolutely.
Right.
It's
So-
yeah.
I know most of these people, so it's
Yeah.
it's pretty easy.
So
Yeah.
now we're like we have a hand in essentially everything that each other do at this point.
pretty much.
And so then we started to, I guess myself kind of started to build more of a branch and kind of just like starting to, I'm with this network that I'm building with Rose Worldwide, which, you know, you're a part of, which is amazing.
Rose
I
Worldwide.
do want to say I do love what you're doing. Things have been going like
Yeah.
I
very,
actually
very well.
appreciate
So
it.
props to you.
Yeah, thank you.
But Rose Worldwide has now become more than what I really have
Do you remember what
anticipated
the
it to be.
idea was? What
The-
we were saying it was?
Mm,
We
which
were
one?
like, we wanted to make a conglomeracy.
Oh yeah, we wanted to make a media
So,
conglomeracy,
we
and
wanted-
like,
yeah.
oh my lord,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rose
And
Worldwide.
I mean, it's still
yeah.
It
in
still
essence-
technically
in
is, yeah,
essence
because
is-
now
Yeah.
we gotta, yeah,
Now you got the sports thing.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
like
exactly. So,
5
now,
things.
so now, as I've kind of stepped away, I've built this little pond of stuff now that I have. So it's like the Rose Worldwide now supports this show, and supports. It is under the umbrella. Talking at the Walls under that umbrella. Rose Worldwide is under that umbrella, along with a couple other podcasts that are going to be coming on the way. And as of actually recently as well, I also there's our click. Wow. I also started to a sports blog for with my friends here in college, kind
I'll
of
throw
like a
out the logo
Barstool.
right now.
Yeah, that'd be great. Bleacher Report type deal, and it's just been another one of those things where it's like there's a team that is around this. And shout out Justin Imler for kind of coming to me with this idea. He's the CEO and just the president of kind of what he started here. Just really bringing together a smart team. And we actually just launched our website last Friday. So if anybody wants to go check that out, you can go check it out at www.heated-sports.com. And we are keeping you guys pretty much up to date with everything that's going on in sports, everything that's happening in the NBA season. We cover NFL, anybody that's big into fantasy too. So we're going to start some articles on that. So that is kind of where we're at, I guess.
I am not involved in that.
He's not
I'm
really
watching,
involved in that, no.
Yeah, I'm watching it too.
I'm just
It's very
smiling.
interesting.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing-
The Heated
yeah.
Sports Pod is coming like ASAP.
And I think that's gonna be big here.
Oh no,
you know
it's
what I mean?
gonna be huge, and you know what, dude? I am so excited for it. It's gonna be great. Rose Review's winding down, and now I feel like I get to really channel myself into building this podcast network, and I think it's gonna be great. So
Yeah, I'm gonna throw all of our logos right here through this blackness. We'll throw Rose Worldwide up there too, and Nick's Kicks and all that.
we're like the Lancaster. I don't know if you ever heard of Desus and Mero, but I feel like
The Lancaster
we're
Desus
the
and Mero.
Lancaster Desus and Mero.
Yeah, we're basically like bringing the city up. Like between the three of us,
Exactly.
we're doing so much. We went off there.
Yeah.
That was dope.
That's what happens. That's
Once we step in here, it's just like
yeah.
Yeah.
we have this switch that we turn on whenever we're doing either a networking event or a podcast. We hit this one switch in our heads, and we're just like, let's be outgoing.
And it's not even just that. It's like it's not just the outgoing piece. It's the we can be so in sync in certain situations where like
I know what he's gonna say.
exactly, and I know
Yeah.
exactly what's gonna come out of his mouth. So
Exactly.
it's like
You guys are like the ultimate team partnership thing. Like business partners, like the ultimate business partners.
Honestly, yeah,
Yeah.
because we're not the same.
we're not the same
We're
at
not the
all.
same.
At all.
We're not the same even slightly.
Oh my
but
God.
we keep each other in check. It's like we won't see eye to eye. That's the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah, because out
Because
of
when we do see eye to eye, that's when we know.
right.
That's when we know it's 100%
and
across the board.
when we don't see eye to eye, we find different avenues that help. It really
Facts.
does help us because when we don't see eye to eye, it's not like no, we're chalking that idea.
Yeah.
It's like okay, that's like I don't
What's
know
the
how I feel about that,
alternative?
but like what else? What else are we thinking? Like, can we change that around? And that's how we've kind of figured out like everything out. like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone says no, we'll just go
we're
around.
like why?
Yeah,
Or
we're
like,
just
what
like
do we do?
why, and then they're like because. And we're
Why
like,
does that idea suck? All right,
Well-
yeah, that idea sucks. Or like,
Yeah.
let's move forward. You know?
Yeah.
I've been a pretty blunt person my whole life. Would you consider yourself blunt?
No,
No.
not at all.
And I think
I try to
that's-
dance around shit to not hurt people's feelings.
Really, I did
Oh.
not expect that.
No, no. Okay, when it's people that I care about, right? And when I'm in a situation where it's like I am working on it like every single day,
Yeah.
I think. Like when I come in here and I sit in that seat, and I've said this before, like sometimes all bets are off because like it's my shit. This is at the end of the day. But
We've said some ridiculous.
yeah,
things
we've
in
said
this
some
room.
ridiculous
Yeah.
things.
ridiculous. things.
But like when it comes to like making a strong business decision, like I try to be like the nice guy
Yeah.
in that, and Nick
It's like
will always
good
just
cop,
be-
I'm
bad
lit-
cop.
I'm
It
literally
really
telling
is
you,
good
I'm
cop,
literally
bad
telling you,
cop.
every time you say something like that, I just get flashbacks to the IRG beef on Instagram.
Oh, man.
And all I can picture you is like that's the moment where I was like, man, I should never fuck with James.
Bulls
I was
in my
like-
DMs like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do all this.
Yeah. Also,
Yada,
let's make
yada.
this clear as you're sitting here, as I'm sitting here, so that this is documented. Okay.
Oh, it's Doc.
Okay. I want to make this clear, right? So, did I ever steal the idea from you for Kicks for Kids?
Oh, this is a
like
good
I just want I want to
Yeah,
get I want to get this
I wasn't
answered
there or
on
anything.
airwaves
I wasn't
because
there.
that's important.
Okay, let's get something very clear.
Very clear.
This idea was long before I even met James. I
Yeah.
brought out James because I thought he was going to be a great fit. Turns out he was a great fit.
Have you ever okay, question 2. Have you ever once ever heard me take credit for Kicks for Kids Or would you ever think that I would take credit for Kicks for Kids?
No.
And the reason why I wouldn't take credit for Kicks for Kids is
But
because
I would want you
I'm
to.
not in fear of Nick. I just think because of our personalities, when Nick is like in a situation where he needs to be blunt, listen, I'm not gonna shit. Like I'm not gonna like sit here and tell you like he can scare me shitless.
Yeah.
Like
Just
he
gotta
can
put
scare
things in
anybody
perspective.
shitless.
I just think put things into perspective.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perspective is huge, especially when it's real life shit going on. Like, I look at some of the issues that we've had before, and I'm like, damn, we got through those incredibly easily.
Mm.
And I don't think it would have been that way if it was anyone else. That's why I said
Yeah.
with the other possible person who I wanted to bring on instead of you, I don't think it would have worked.
We've also had like situations where like we've had to sit back and be like, is this gonna be? And we may not have said it to each other, I don't think, but we sit back and we're just like, fuck, is this gonna be a situation that we can't crawl out of?
Right.
But we always find a way, and I think that's what. And as we do more stuff,
It makes it easier for us
Yeah.
to get into
Yeah.
new endeavors. Because, like, we're constantly just shifting.
Yeah.
Constantly shifting.
I think that's kind of, and I feel the same way. Like, you just have an idea, and then that idea just keeps going.
yeah.
And you want to keep going, but you also want to stay consistent. And so you're, like, I think my thing right now is I'm setting myself up to be able to be a little bit more loose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to build one really strong business that can start to streamline funds for me to start going to the next level.
Mm.
Yeah.
And, like, that's kind of what Eder Consulting is for me. Like, if I can make Eder Consulting something that I can live off of,
Mhm.
then starting a nonprofit is my next step. And then we're going to be raising funds for that. And then from there, like, after I have the center, like, then I'm going to talk about, okay, how do I move on to the next thing?
Definitely.
But for me, it's like I have to build the base so that I can do everything.
It, it brings a
that's
smile to
hard.
my face.
Yeah.
I see it. It's,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same, it's the same feeling that I had when I had the idea for a business. I will caution you, it ruins your life.
Yeah, I know it's
More or less.
already there.
It ruins
Like,
my life.
what social life?
I'm miserable a lot.
Yeah.
Like, but, you know, I wouldn't have it any other. Would I rather be miserable have someone telling me what to do, or would I rather be miserable and having myself?
Exactly.
make
That's what
my
it
own
is.
Money.
'Cause this is the hard part.
Yeah, right.
This is the hard
This
part.
is the
You know,
hard
you
part.
spend the first, not even just year, but couple of years struggling.
Mhm.
Unless you have like a
And I was thankful to get
idea.
into an industry where the margins really allowed me to have a
Mm.
pretty good quality of life. I remember I was making pretty decent money when I was in high school, so it was like I
Yeah.
was literally like, my teachers are like, "What are you doing?" Like, because like nobody knew what I was doing. I had a bunch of money in my pockets. Like,
yeah.
my girlfriend can attest to this. Like, I had stacks. Like, it was just
Yeah.
it was normal. Like
Yeah.
that was normal, and I don't want to say I took it for granted, because the way that it grew was something I did not even expect.
Yeah.
Never, because there's so many people that do this. Like, how many we know personally? Like, at least 10 people that do the same thing that I do.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And you're not even in the sneaker game.
I'm
He can't even find sneakers in
can't
his
even
size.
find shoes. I'm wearing 2 different colored shoes right
That's
now.
what I'm saying.
You think I'm playing?
no, I
Real.
don't. That's
Red
the
and
thing.
blue.
That's the thing.
One.
Boom.
Look at that. That's bigger than my head.
I don't even think both of those are probably even in shot.
Bro, he wears the boxes. He throws away the shoes and wears the boxes.
Dang, dude. What size shoe are you wearing?
Do you want to guess?
He wears the
16?
boat.
Close.
17?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
It was so
Yeah,
hard
bro.
to find him Jordans in his size. Oh my god.
dude.
I have to buy him hats.
That's a huge
And, dude, you know Jordans look big on people anyway.
yeah.
On me, bro.
Boats.
Whew.
Boat shoes.
Stop
I
it.
think he's wearing Sperry's.
They're cool to have.
From
I
boat
love them. I
shoes.
look at them and I'm like, oh. But then I'm like, what do I wear these with? Because like, if I wear them, like, I gotta. It's like wearing Timbs. You gotta wear them with like.
The Yuttas.
Not the Yuttas.
The Yuttas.
Not the Yuttas.
Yeah. I was happy when James. There's a video. I have this video that I set up my phone in my apartment when I gave James his first pair of sneakers. His first pair of Nike, or his first pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
He ruined it because he saw the phone, but
Yeah.
I was trying to surprise him. They're cool. I like it. It's a good thing. You needed that.
Yeah.
Definitely needed that. If you were going to be the face of a charity, if you were
100%.
going to be
You
someone
did.
who,
That's
in the
dope.
community with sneakers, I think
You needed the
needed to
Jordans,
be.
bro.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah. Hmm.
Dang, dude.
Yeah. We businesses, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I
It
will
is a
caution you to say it is a lot. And
Dude,
if-
it's been a lot.
I believe it. I can only imagine.
Yeah. And even just like, I think a lot of times a lot of people can get behind an idea off the start, but like monetizing attention is huge.
Huge.
Dude, that's like my biggest thing, because like owning a firm, like it's not like shoes.
Mm-mm.
My
Product's already
clients,
made for shoes.
Yeah.
You have to.
yeah, my
Your
client,
service is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. So my clientele is not gonna be other kids my age. Like we're talking to colleges
Mhm.
about diversity programs, and we actually got reached out today by an adoption agency. So like we thrive off of word of mouth, and we're doing well for like a company that's like literally like 4 months at an idea and like now about to finish its second month of being like an actual open business.
Mm-hmm.
So like we're doing well considering those facts, but like it is hard. It's not like, and it's an everyday thing. Like you work on marketing, you work on telling people about your business, you get business cards, you do
It
everything,
never stops.
and you go to the events and you do it all. Like it's,
It never
if you want to
stops.
do this, you have to really do it.
I when I first got into this game, and I'm not going to compare our industries because they aren't similar. Service
not
and
at all.
service and sales are
Yeah,
two different things. I mean, I treat my customers well, obviously, and so do you.
course.
But you're a service.
Yeah.
You literally sit and meet and figure
Yeah.
out things that might make your client hate you.
Exactly, and like
So-
it's a big risk.
Yeah, and I wish I got into a service-based industry like you, and I wish I started with a service-based industry because that's in the long run the most profitable.
Yeah, and that's the
Um,
thing. Like we're talking like multi-$1,000 contracts, which is
Yeah.
just one of our contracts.
Yeah.
Which like if we get them signed, it becomes huge for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's like a grant for a nonprofit.
Yeah, exactly. Which is
Literally helps
cool.
them, yeah.
But again, like it's about, can you sign it? Can you close the deal?
And I found when I started, I noticed that doing the actual craft itself of selling something was the experience I needed.
Yeah.
That to
Michael G. Scott.
I wouldn't even worry about going to the events. I would say worry about getting them clients in,
Yeah.
meeting with them, learning from the clients. Really just like cuz
Yeah.
my whole demeanor changed. Like before I started selling sneakers, I was a different person.
Yeah.
Completely different person. 100%.
You got some buzz going on, bro. Oh, never mind. Just stop. No, try again. No, not that. What we got? Hold on. Let go. There we go. We're good.
So my demeanor changed. You evolved with your business.
Yeah, no doubt.
You evolve, and it sounds like what you have is sole proprietorship,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
As of right
Yeah.
now.
As of right now.
So
Thinking about finding a good partner, because we do have I have one person who's going to start working as a consultant to help me do some of the training sessions and things like that, which is kind of where I think we're going to hit our big market with, especially the adoption stuff. And I have toyed around the idea of like having him be more of a partner than just an employee.
and the originality of your idea, I think that is a huge part of it as well.
Yeah, that's what sells us.
I don't know
Yeah.
of many. Correct me if I'm wrong. Transracial adoption
No,
counseling.
that is actually kind of, and we're not counseling because we can't say that
Yeah,
for liability reasons.
I know that one.
Who's ever watching? But yes, that's kind of one of our that's one of the reasons that I did it is because I looked at the market and I was like, whenever I figure out what the thing is that I can really sell in here,
Yeah,
because that's why I'm toying around with so many ideas. Like if you watch, I'm offering a webinar next week.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
it's not doing well, and so I realized that might not be it right now.
right
but
now it might not.
yeah,
be,
right
but
now it might be, but
get
it
your
could be.
clientele up to maybe
So I'm
40
just-
people and 20 people might. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Especially for the price you're doing it at. Very,
Yeah,
very
it's
reasonable.
a
price.
very
smart, I
reasonable
saw that,
price.
yeah.
Yeah,
I did see it.
So, and we're people have already asked us to do workshops, so we know we're gonna start offering a monthly workshop.
I think
Here,
that's very important.
York and
yeah.
Harrisburg, because we know the Bethany's at all three of those places.
Yeah.
So our I think our issue right now is figuring out what our niche is in that field, because the truth is the market's wide open.
Huge.
We're also working on a subscription service of videos and content, Q&As, things like that, because then we can go worldwide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So for me, this is literally the long game. It's that hell you're talking about. It's all right, we know we have about $5,000 of things we need to make, but as soon as we make them, this market could bust wide open for us.
And I think it's important to realize that, I mean, this is an applicable saying for most situations. I even told my girlfriend this. Like, it's a marathon, not a race.
Of course.
So you running to the head, and we see this even with people in music, with the perfection piece.
Yeah.
People are they rush to perfection, and they put out a shitty project.
Yep.
It could be the same thing with a business. It's the exact same thing.
Or they come out with a shitty brand.
Right.
They
I
brand
can't tell you how many. I can't tell you how many
Yeah.
clothing companies that I can't support, just because like
100%.
it's just not.
Because that shit looks
And
awful.
branding's huge, dude. You
Like,
know how many
there's-
hours a day I spend on Instagram?
No, bro. There's clothing.
Oh my
I mean, it's
gosh.
not even that. Like, there's clothing brands all around Lancaster, right?
Yeah.
And there's like probably only like maybe 2 or 3 that I could seriously fuck with.
Yeah. Shout out Living Lawless for being one of
Absolutely.
Big
them.
facts.
Living Lawless is
Shouts
everywhere.
to Curtis.
Yeah.
for real. Unfortunately, the battery pack just died, so we're gonna have to cut really quick.
Okay, cool. All right, we're back.
Sorry about that.
Nah, you're good, bro. We're gonna start closing out, but I wanna ask these guys one last question. Point of the show is to bring on young people who are doing big things and to also inspire younger people to start doing things in Lancaster. And so, as 3 people who have kind of like spearheaded this, and like these are the people that I look to, and I'm like, okay, wow, these are inspirations for me. This is how I can keep some of my momentum. What is your guys' advice for other people that kind of want to follow in your footsteps, my footsteps, our footsteps?
I can go first.
Yeah, you go first.
So,
Follow up.
and I think I talked a little bit about this on your show, but I also, watching that back and kind of thinking about this, it's not impossible, and like that is what a lot of people like look at what I've done, and I can only speak on like my personal experience with things I've been involved in. Like people will look at me and they'll do the exact same thing that you just said. Like they'll look to me for advice. Like I have rappers who have not even started SoundCloud accounts yet that'll hit me up and ask me like, hey, like what do I do? I try to say like the same thing to everybody. Like it's not impossible to do what you want to do. Like the amount of resources that are at everybody's fingertips right now. Like you can
Do
start
whatever
a
you
clothing
want.
brand right now if you want to. Like
Yeah.
and so I think in terms of getting people involved, that's hard. It's a matter of taking the stigma away from like, okay, I get very, very like I get chills down my spine when people ask what I do, and like I essentially like I can map it out any way I want, but essentially right now like my main focus, I'm a YouTuber. Basically, that's what it has come down to. It's like I'm posting shit on YouTube, and I also am a vice president of a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 lanes right now. So when people hear that I'm a YouTuber, they're like, or something that involves with me, like I make YouTube videos, like there's a specific stigma that comes with that, where it's like I make YouTube videos, so like I'm like Logan Paul or Jake Paul, and I'm like doing reaction videos, and I'm like doing but
Or you're just playing.
right.
like,
So
some
like
video
when
game
somebody
for
wants to
hours.
start
Yeah.
something like. And even like, and that's another thing. Like even streamers too, like just stuff like that. Like if you want to
Yeah.
start it, just go for it.
Go
like
for
set
it.
like set it
Literally.
up because
Yeah.
and
There's
it's
nothing
not
to lose.
it's- and
You
if
miss
it's even
100% of the
Yeah.
shots that you don't take.
and like
Yeah.
and I can only take this for myself, and you know I can't speak for Nick, but listen, if anybody like is ever in a situation where they feel like they have an idea, like if you want to bring it to me or
Yeah,
even
come to
Nick, like,
us.
please,
You know,
like,
Yeah.
we're open books when it comes
That's
to that
why
sort
we're
of thing.
here.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
try to get to as many like DMs and text messages as I possibly can.
Yeah.
I try to listen
Same.
to as much music as I can. If I really like an idea that you have, like just like with Justin, and I think that things that we've done, like just with this show, like I am willing to take that step and help.
Yeah.
And so if that is what's gonna do it to get people involved, like
Yeah.
okay, cool, like people like
Yeah.
Isaac, you can start giving out my phone number. I don't care,
Yeah.
but it's just that.
Yeah.
We like that role of mentorship. We like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That's
And
And I'm
important
in
for
that
us.
same role. That's why I spend time at FNM and I spend time at Millersville at least once
And
a
you
week
don't
with
even go
students.
there.
I don't go to either of those schools, and I made those ties through Instagram.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Isn't that
I didn't-
crazy?
Yeah, you
Isn't
know
that
what I mean. Like I went on Instagram. I followed a couple people. A lot of them started responding to my stories and this podcast, and that's how I made an in at a lot of these schools.
Because here's the thing, and
Yeah.
this is another thing that I'd say to people. When I started telling people, and even some of my friends, about the Rose Review, and like when I started it, people were like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Like literally, they were like, they're like, you're
The
you,
naysayer.
yeah. And now it's so funny because like I have like some like my homies and stuff like say like, bro, I saw your episode, like even family too, like, yo, I
Yeah.
saw that episode, like it was really good.
Yeah.
It took a while for my family to even catch on to what I was doing and actually pay attention.
Yeah. Because
But
it seems out there.
right when
it does.
right,
does,
if you have an
yeah.
idea that's going to be successful, just
It's
work-
got to be out there.
literally
Yeah, exactly.
work
Yeah.
at it. I know it seems like an eternity, but I feel like it's been an eternity that I've been doing this. I've
Yeah.
gone through 3 seasons. I've moved 3 spaces. I have one that is my own now, and it's only been about a year and a half.
Yeah.
So
Started in
That's a bit-
apartments
yeah.
and libraries.
yeah,
and
like-
That's
only
the
on
thing.
SoundCloud now.
I remember-
we've had Nick and I have had long nights where like we've sat up until like 3-4 in the morning just like editing websites.
Oh my
like
God.
Yeah.
I've been
No
like
days off.
seriously
days
like.
No days off. Yeah.
And that's hard to do when you have as much on the plate, but it's like
Because we're
if
both
you can
students.
pick, yeah,
We both go to
Yeah,
school
dude.
full time.
Yeah.
like I can't upload videos on Monday, Wednesdays, or Fridays because I need my computer from the hours of
Yeah.
I need my computer from the hours of 9 to 3 p.m. And if I want to get a video up before like 7 p.m., it's impossible because like I'm not gonna see a 4-hour upload because of the way that I shoot my stuff.
Yeah.
It takes about like maybe like 7 or 8 hours,
Yeah.
or the way that I edit and then compress everything.
How
Like,
many
it
Yeah.
takes-
how many days of episodes? We have like a day and a half of episodes.
we
almost?
have probably close to, I believe, almost 30 hours of content on
Wild.
the Rose Review channel.
Wild.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I can't.
So-
even, we probably have
Yeah.
cumulatively probably 50 hours.
Yeah, it's just time. It's just
Mm.
time, dedication, and just don't really be afraid.
And everything takes a while too. Like you can't discount any of it.
mm-mm,
It's all a process.
mm-mm.
And
Yeah.
there's no team. Like we are the team. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you are your team.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
well, maybe that's another thing. Maybe I'd say to people is like, I don't think I find your counterpart.
Mm.
Because if you can do that, and that's like, there's like, it's not like a relationship. Like it's not like you're gonna go out and date somebody, but find somebody like for you, and like find somebody that's gonna like be by your side and give you real and honest
Yeah.
answers. Because like, if
That's
I
the
can
most,
say,
that's the
I
most
can
important
say
thing.
that
to be
Nick and I are that person for so many people, but
Easily.
there's a special situation between the two of
Mm.
us, I think, where
Yeah.
it's at the end of the day, no matter what either of us has in terms of an endeavor, we're going to back each other on it, and we're going
Yeah.
to be there to support each other in any help
Yeah.
that's possible. And when you
Absolutely.
have that, and when you have somebody like there have been times where like before I didn't even know how to format an SD card the right way. And so, dude, this is a funny story. I was buying SD card after SD card after SD card after SD card because I thought like I couldn't reformat them. So
we were
I-
spending $32 an episode, pretty much.
So yeah, and so
On
like
top
I
of the
would pay
time,
him
yeah.
to like I would forget like SD cards, and like Nick would go get that. If you don't have like that was really helpful for me.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
find the people that are going to support you. There's always going to be one. There's always going to be
Definitely.
one, you guys.
Yeah.
But when it's only one, don't forget, like when you only have the one viewer, or like the 10 views, or anything like that, like or like the X amount of followers, the X amount of likes, when those start to tick up, like just remember, like when you see that, you're doing something right,
Mm.
and don't
Run with it.
yeah,
Run
just
with it, for
keep
sure.
going.
Yeah. And I've been blessed by like that mentality of like, and I think that's the biggest thing with my Instagram right now. And we're going to talk next episode. I'm actually having an influencer on, so we're going to talk a lot about social media next episode. But I think that's like one of the things, like I remember when my Instagram likes were like 30 tops, or I got 0 comments and like 5 likes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like there comes this point to where like if you stay consistent, you stay dedicated to the process, you're going to see that go up.
Mm-hmm.
Like and that's important. That goes with YouTube. That goes with everything.
Right.
Like if you stay at this process, even this podcast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like our episodes fluctuate in terms of views, but like especially that first episode gets a ton of views.
Yeah.
And I'm sure this one will just because of like all the people in this room.
Definitely.
I think our like like stuff with view count, like don't get wrapped, like especially
Yeah.
like young kids too, like don't get wrapped too far into that, because like
Definitely not.
I know like even sometimes like I catch myself like looking and just being like, damn, like I'm not where I want to be right now. Like I set a goal
Yeah.
for myself of where I should be right now, and I'm like nowhere near that.
Mm.
But I
That's
look at
good.
the
That's
but
good to
and then
have.
I go back and I look at the gap and I'm like
Yeah,
damn,
yeah.
I was
Look where
only
we
looking.
were.
Yeah, look where we
Yeah,
were. I was only
exactly.
getting like only 50 people were coming to my profile a week,
Yeah.
and now it's like 700.
And be able to push yourself without like expecting expecting too much of yourself. You know what I
Right.
mean? Set
Right.
realistic goals.
I don't
You
know.
know what I mean?
What do you think?
So the biggest thing for me, maybe ask the question one more time so the viewers remember what we were.
Sorry,
sorry.
yeah, that's
we
great.
were-
Yeah,
it
no,
was
that's good.
That was a really good.
I think it was good.
That was good.
Yeah. So, what is kind of some of your advice for other young people who kind of want to do this?
Get
Maybe
involved.
especially like nonprofit. I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
young nonprofit ideas,
So
and nobody knows where to go.
and that's not even the avenue I want to take this. I
Oh,
would say
yeah, go ahead anywhere.
perseverance.
Yeah.
Perseverance is the biggest thing for a
Mm.
young entrepreneur wanting to start something, or a nascent entrepreneur. That's
Mm.
for those of you, I've said it multiple times. If you're still watching this, a nascent entrepreneur is someone who has an idea but it hasn't gone to fruition yet.
Yeah.
For those nascent entrepreneurs, take that step, like James said, for real, for
Mhm.
real. But don't be discouraged by every single
Mm.
expense that's fraught on the way. And here's the story I want to give.
Yeah.
And this was one that really got me. It almost made me stop doing it.
Yeah.
So I had a website, and it was like 2 years ago, 2 years ago. I was a freshman in college, and some scumbag people on the internet
Oh my gosh,
Took-
I know this story.
took a bunch of stolen credit cards and bought about $2,000 worth of stuff off my website. So I was like, okay, fair enough. I didn't know it at the time. I couldn't see it because the credit cards are stolen. They didn't have time to catch up. The credit card company didn't have time to catch up with the stolen info. So
Gotcha.
I sent out the products without knowing that the credit cards that they paid with were stolen. So about 4 months later, I get a chargeback on Christmas for $1,730. So this was on Christmas. On Christmas Day, I cried. I don't know. That's the best way I can say it. I literally, my heart broke because
yeah.
I worked so hard to get to that point, lost all of that merchandise, lost that entire progression. And I'm talking
Man.
like I made 70% profit off that. So you do the math on a $1,700 sale, what 70% of that is. So I was out that much.
Yo.
So, the perseverance thing, I was very close. I was this close to saying, no, this isn't me. This
Yeah.
just can't be. And then I sat, and I didn't have James at this time. This was all me personally, and I'm trying to, in my own head, and like, if I would have had the support system I had back then, I wouldn't have had these anxieties and of that.
Mm.
But I had no money after this. That took
Yeah,
away
that's
pretty
it.
much a lot of my savings. Like I was like 17, 18 years old. That was a lot of money for a 17, 18-year-old. So I would say the most important part, don't get discouraged by the loss. Keep pushing, because in every business you're going to have loss. And this has happened many times. I've lost
Yeah.
I can't tell you how much money I've lost. Thousands. Literally thousands of dollars.
I think even one of the scarier situations of more recent was like you got your Instagram account when you got your Instagram account hacked.
Yeah, so I have like
That was
5,000
scary.
followers on Instagram, something like that,
Yeah.
which I ascertained through Facebook because I used to sell literally everything through Facebook, and I was like, yeah, just follow me on Instagram. So like that's all clientele.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
it's like someone hacked it, like some Russian sex bot, who knows what it was, hacked my thing and turned it into non-existent profile. So I called James and I'm like, man, you know what?
Yo,
this is not cool.
He
Like
was freaking the fuck out.
not
like freaking out. He was just like, I saw in
I
his
was
face,
like, I was like, dude,
the-
this is where I make money from.
right.
Yeah.
You
I
were
was
like, I gotta drop everything.
I was like, this takes away a part of my livelihood.
Mm.
That was very discouraging.
Yeah.
And it's
that'd be
crazy
devastating.
because like you sit back and like social media, like, we want it to not drive the bus so much, but like, damn,
It drives
the fucking
that
bus.
It drives that bus.
It drives it. It owns it. It puts the fuel in it. Like
It really does.
Yeah.
Yep, it really does.
It does. I wouldn't have made half, even a quarter of the money that I made in high school without social media. Because before sneakers, I was known for having sneakers and buying a lot of sneakers, like, just my own money.
Yeah.
And I would come to school with a different pair of shoes every day, and I'd be like, you know what, this is not right.
Yeah.
Let's start a company. Boop, boop, boop. Here we are. So if I was to say, just jump ship when I lost that $1,700 or when I lost $500 on my first sneaker sale ever, that's a funny story. I bought a sneaker, put it in a box that had another label on it, and it got sent to Texas instead of California, and it got stolen from there. So I was out that $500. Could have been at that point. I remember having the same feeling, just not to the same extent, but I remember having that same feeling. I was talking to my mother about it, and she was like, you know, she isn't quite the entrepreneurial person. She didn't quite give me the best advice, but I ran with what she told me. She said perseverance.
Yeah.
Perseverance, and
That's what it is.
that's what it is. You know what I mean? If you're young and you want to start something, you're not going to do it without perseverance.
Facts.
I had those naysayers. I remember in high school, people thinking it was weird that I had a bunch of different sneakers.
Yeah.
And those same people who think that I was weird for it are the same people not going to college, staying around the same areas.
And that's that is such a fact.
Whatever.
Because like the people that like the people that like will say those things,
Hating.
hating. I found that they're either like they're the ones that are gonna sit and get the desk job, and like they're either gonna go and they're gonna do the traditional route. Like I don't knock college. Like go to college. Like go to school.
Go to college.
But like
Absolutely.
when you take a traditional route after college, like you know who those kids are gonna be. You know who they're gonna be. You know what they look like. You know who they are. 95% of them, like it goes like this. It's like, let's look at a frat. 50% of them are gonna go get business jobs and they're gonna sit behind a desk for for the next like 10 years of their lives. Or the other half are either gonna drop out and get like a really shitty job. And as crazy as that sounds, like those are the people that are gonna talk the most shit on you.
Yeah.
And
ones who
athletes,
really-
athletes I've found too, because those are the high school athletes that didn't go to college are my favorite.
They
Because
try
like
to pander to me because I got the sneakers. So
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
They like you though.
What's up?
what's up?
I-
You got that
but-
bread? Nah.
Nah. And
Do you even need these to hoop, bro? Nah.
Nah.
You right.
Shit, James knows me. I don't come unless
Sigh.
there's a bag.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
When it comes to business, you better be dropping that bag off.
I don't know.
Better be dropping
I
that
don't know.
bag. But yeah, no, I really want to. Throughout, I've accomplished a lot, but I don't, like James said,
Yeah.
I haven't met any of the goals that I wanted to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
I feel that.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? I not one goal.
Yeah.
Not one goal.
I got one more thing to
And
say.
I think when I meet those goals is the day I'm gonna stop being in business.
That's facts. That's a good way to put that. 100%.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
Yeah. I think one last thing that I'd say, and like in terms of just like the part of just like being involved, is like, look, be involved, but like don't chase after the dream. Like, what did you said something? You said something like a little bit ago. I don't remember
A
what
marathon,
it was.
not a race.
It's just like
Yeah.
that. Like,
Yeah.
and that is so important
Super
in
important.
in everything, especially social media, and especially like building yourself
This is
as
a
like
great
a
segue into our
brand.
next episode. Yeah.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
definitely something you're going to be able to talk
yeah,
about.
we're gonna
with
hit
her
that.
and,
We're gonna
like,
hit that next
yeah.
episode.
because she has a lot to say about that.
She definitely does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lauren's brilliant. All right, well, we're gonna close out, man. Thank you guys for being here.
course,
I've
it
been
was
excited
awesome.
about this episode really all season.
Me
To be
too.
honest,
Yeah.
you guys are killers, for real, rock stars. Another Our Place exclusive for real.
That's facts.
Thank you guys
facts.
so much, and thank you guys for watching.
Thank
see
you for
guys
having
next
us.
time.
Yeah,
It was
for
dope.
real.
Yeah,
It's dope.
I appreciate it.
I mean, it's my
What's
house,
it like?
but like,
What's it like sitting on this side?
all right, well, like, look,
It's like it's my house, but
it's weird sitting on the side, but like, look, I feel very relaxed because I'm not like looking at the
I
computer
know.
to see whether or not like we're gonna have
See
a
if we're
screw
still
up, or, like,
going, or-
I'm not
Yeah.
like peeking around the lens to
Yeah.
see if the red button's still like on the corner of that, just to make sure
Yeah.
we're still recording. Nah, but we run in the
We're
channel.
matching.
twins.
We're just,
Good for you guys.
I don't know what we do.
She,
Bet.
Yeah.
What?
She bought him for me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what she
Let's
was.
still be a shot. Good job.
Bet.
Cool fit.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely.
Next week,
I'll
be wearing a Rose hat.
Oh, also make sure you tune into the Rose Review, guys.
Rose review.
yeah, Rose
Every
review,
week.
Talking at the wall.
Oh, I don't know what's
That was so
coming
good,
soon,
yeah.
but I promise you when it does come back, it's going to come back with a big bang.
we said some ridiculous things, and we need to take a fine-tooth comb and just go through there and get them all out, and then it'll be up.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
We said some ridiculous things.
Some crazy
Cool.
things.
I want to see the unedited version.
The unedited version,
cool.
you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you cannot air this if you guys, yeah, you guys can."
You got
Bet. All right.
501c3.
All right. We're out of here.
All right, peace, guys.
Peace.